is not there. We call it Baitul Maqdis, but it's the same thing. When Jerusalem is flourishing, is center stage, is built up using the analogy of construction, built up, flourishing, center stage. At that time, he said, look to see Yathrib, Kharabu Yathrib, that Yathrib would be destroyed using the terminology of construction, meaning on desolation, that Yathrib
with no
would
role
be destroyed
whatsoever to play
using
in
the
the world.
terminology of construction.
Yathrib, of
meaning
course,
is that city to the north of Mecca, which today is popularly known as Medina. Mecca is the most important city in the world for a Muslim, for an Arab. So why should he refer to Yathrib and not to Mecca? When Jerusalem is flourishing, center stage in the world, Yathrib will have no status whatsoever. Answer? Because Mecca also will have a status less than Yathrib. So in the end time, Mecca has no role to play for a Muslim. In the end time, Yathrib or Medina has no role to play for a Muslim. In the end time, it is Jerusalem which is the most important city of all. And then he went on to say, and I hope these words of mine reach to Turkey. Can you take it please to them? Kharabu Yathrib, Khurujul Malhama. Malhama, you know it. You call it Armageddon. Armageddon. The Great War. He called it a war in which 99% of those who fight would be killed. 99 out of every 100 would be killed. You call it Armageddon. We call it the Malhama. And that Malhama has not as yet taken place. Perhaps you might want to tell that to Turkey for me. The Armageddon has not as yet taken place. He said, Khurujul Malhama, Khurujul Malhama, Fathul Constantinia. That the next event which will take place after Armageddon, after the Malhama, would be the conquest of Constantinople. He didn't say Istanbul, no. So, excuse me, Mustafa Kamal, I have to use the name that my prophet used. He used the word Constantinople. And so the conquest of Constantinople has not as yet taken place. That is why I ask you to
In this video,
this
I'll show
message,
you how to
please,
set up and manage
to the
live
Turkish
streams in
Muslims.
YouTube's.
600 years of brainwashing can be removed. 600 years is a long, long time. So you might need a lot of water and a lot of soap to wash away that brainwashing. The conquest of Constantinople and a lot of soap prophesied by Prophet Muhammad, brainwashing. Allah's blessings be upon him, has not as yet taken place. It will take place after the Malhama. And when it takes place, then that's goodbye to NATO. I hope I don't offend anyone. When it takes place, when the conquest of Constantinople takes place, that's goodbye to NATO. And then he said, Fathul Constantinia, Khuruj al-Dajjal, that the Antichrist will emerge, if you will excuse the term, in person, after the conquest of Constantinople. And so now, the schoolboy should have known that the most important city in the world for a Christian in the end time is Jerusalem. The most important city in the world for a Jew in the end time is Jerusalem. The most important city in the world for a Muslim in the end time is Jerusalem.
This is Rabi, 24 years old, a university student, an aspiring athlete, a man who takes great care of his body, loves meeting with his friends, loves his morning jogs every morning, and of course, loves himself. Oh yeah, and Rabi's a Muslim.
Has not as yet
He prays.
taken place.
He prays on time. He prays for forgiveness and mercy. Because, let's face it, Rabi's not perfect.
It's been so long, I actually can't wait to see you. Yeah, inshallah.
Like many Muslims, Rabi
will
makes
take
mistakes.
place.
No! Are you serious? Just, I'm not hanging
Demal
up.
Khabar.
Please hang up.
He says and does things he really shouldn't.
I'm not hanging
Demal
up.
Khabar.
Please hang up.
He says and does things he really shouldn't. I'm going to miss Rabi. He just went too soon. It was unexpected. I mean, it didn't come with an announcement or anything. It feels like he just came and then left. But I guess that's life for you. It always has to come to an end. But is this really where it all ends? Does everything come to a complete stop once you die? I mean, is it all over? Today, we journey through to the final destination. They say you only live once. You know how that saying goes. Well, the reality is, that's not the case. Everything that we thought was over, wasn't over at all. And everything that he had done was to determine absolutely everything to come. Rabi knows this. Rabi wants to go back.
What are you listening to? Turn it off!
Rabi wants to make a few changes.
Why are you listening to music? You know it's haram! Please turn it off! Please, Ya Allah!
He wants to clean up a few old habits as well.
Put the cigarette down. It's not worth it. You're going to pay for it.
Rabi
Put it
knows
down.
he'll be judged for how he
Put the
treated
cigarette
his
down.
body.
You're going to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're killing yourself. Put the cigarette down. It's not worth it. Khalas, no more. Put it out. That's it.
He also wishes that he had spent more time perfecting the actions that would actually benefit him in the future. He wished he had stayed longer in his prayers and in his supplications.
Don't rush, take your time. Astaghfirullah, make istighfar. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah.
And not just rushed off in a hurry to get them done all the time.
Don't leave, please don't leave. Allah.
And of course, Rabi wishes he had been stronger in fighting away his desires with the opposite sex.
No.